Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah,
We got it! We got it!
New 52 book.
somebody clip this for the love.
Welcome to Comics League Member Stream. I'm Jared. I'm here with David and Teladia. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
So today we have a really packed show today. So do you guys want to start with the Suicide Squad review or what topic? We have Suicide Squad, DCU, favorite superhero games, and James Gunn's confusing statements.
Let's
I
kick
think
things off
Suicide
with,
Squad.
Let's kick things off with Suicide Squad.
All right,
considering it's
all
fresh.
right. So all three of us that played Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. So we're going to give you an honest review of this. And this is just our opinions. I just want to be clear on this. If you guys like or dislike the game, that is totally valid. So on to the review. All in all, I very much enjoyed the game. And that's just me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Wait a minute, you're not Vladimir Putin. Yeah, exactly. But so I mean, I get why people had issues with it being the Kevin Conroy death and the perceived disrespect. The thing about it is, if you guys are paying attention when you're playing the game, they give you heavy, like they basically beat you over the head with these deaths are not permanent. These deaths are not permanent. These deaths are not permanent.
Yeah. I think that there's way too many haters that, one, didn't even play this game and are just like seeing clips of like when their favorite heroes die and it's making them really mad. And I think that that's where all of the hate is coming from. And I think that none of them actually played it. They don't know what it feels like. It feels really good. The gameplay is very smooth. I was actually really, really, really surprised because I went from like playing like Call of Duty and Baldur's Gate to that, and it felt just as good.
I'm sure. Yeah. How about you, Teladia?
Like for Suicide Squad, it felt really interesting. The co-op experience was fun.
Yeah.
Like me, Jared. Obviously, there was some technical difficulties, but we still managed to get through the story. But the game was just fun and entertaining. Yes, and Jared was top dog every time. Except for that one
Yeah,
time.
it was kind of. I'll give you this, Teladia. A lot of the time, that first day we played the game, you were top dog for most of the things, and then I told you, shooter games are my thing.
And what happens? He becomes top dog, and he
Multiple
never
times.
stops.
Yeah, I never. It's not my fault that you were in the presence of greatness, Teladia. It's not my fault.
Oh, wait till we wait until you play the end game. Wait till you play the end game. That's the hardest bit.
Now, what I will say, so here's some things I really appreciate about the game. So we'll start positive. All of the freaking Easter eggs that are in this game,
It's so cool.
there's no way. I always say that when you're looking at like whether or not the people had a love, the developers had a love for the source material, because here's the thing. Yes, that could be just fan service to garner like positivity from the fan base. But when you put that many obscure reviews, reviews, that's another discussion. But obscure Easter eggs, there's no way that they didn't have DC Comics fans in the writers' room. There was absolutely there's no way this is by accident. And then Dave says, to be fair, the reception was always going to be an uphill battle. People dislike the concept of killing the Justice League since the game was announced. Yeah, so that is the thing. Even though the Justice League don't actually die, I'm still on the code theory. even by the way, this recently came out. There was dialogue of King Shark going, "You notice Brainiac teleported the Justice League's bodies up to his ship after he killed them. Could it be he has a way to restore them?" And you know what that is, gents? You know what that is?
What?
That's Rocksteady saying they're coming back. Get off our forums.
Also, like them saying it's a live service game, you can't just like, oh, I beat it. It can't just end. It has to keep going some way.
Yeah. And if you look at like again the roadmap for season 1, 2 of the boss battles are Brainiacified Green Lantern and Superman.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we really killed them, why are we fighting them again?
Exactly.
It doesn't
Because
make
here's
sense.
the thing. Here's the clone theory. They're up there because in order to clone that many Justice Leaguers, he needs a source of DNA. So I think Brainiac is doing is he's keeping them alive, and he just extracts a little bit of DNA every time he needs it, and then revives them. That's what I think is going on. I bet Flash will reset the timeline.
I don't even think Flash died. I really don't.
You think he's going to do a Flashpoint paradox?
No, I think Brainiac is just gonna be like, oh, one of them out. Somehow one of them is gonna escape and go tell the rest of the world, and then it'll be like Suicide Squad saves the Justice League. Season 2.
Because here's the thing, if we're taking what James Gunn has said in the past, speaking of confusing statements, but he did say that like this is not going to be the last Arkham game. So my thinking is, I think here's what I would do if I were Rocksteady. As soon as we're done with Suicide Squad, make a Justice League game. Co-op Justice League game with the Arkham League.
I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna make a prediction now.
Okay.
I think Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a taste tester for them to building up a Justice League game. The reason why I say that, I know people are gonna say, but how are they gonna do a Justice League game without Kevin Conroy? It's simple. When they reset the timeline, right?
Or don't reset the timeline. When they bring Batman back, you could say something went wrong with the cloning process and he lost his voice or something like that. Or just recast him and don't bother worrying about it.
Yeah, that would be
that's
the best thing to do.
Use like Bruce Greenwood or the dude that did Arkham Origins, and there you go. All right, Dave asked, did Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor really die? Well, Lex Luthor was replaced by an Earth 2 Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor 1.
Or Toother, and I love that. And Wonder Woman could come back because she's the daughter of Zeus, and it's Greek god stuff. They come back all the time. Hey, what's up, Tevia? How you doing, dude?
Who mentioned Super Sons?
I didn't. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Maybe it was my Lois Lane video. But anyway, they've left so many a question. Well, what about Superman's death? Exactly, Tevia. That's what we're saying. We think we just killed clones.
Yeah, he didn't even like really react to kryptonite from all the videos I've seen.
So he was stabbed in the chest with a kryptonite shard.
He was hit with a kryptonite in the chest.
And Wonder Woman smacked it further into his chest to the point where the shard was in.
And is he lagging?
I think you are lagging, Teladia. I think it's you.
I think both of you guys lagged at the same time. Maybe all three of us did.
But go on, Teladia.
And if you remember, when Boomerang threw the gold kryptonite, it wasn't red blood. It was purple blood coming out of his hand.
I did notice that the blood looked abnormally dark to the point where it looked purple. So I'm like, again, there you go. If you notice, his veins were purple as well around the eyes and stuff. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's a clone. And Wonder Woman said, to tell you
she said that too.
The kryptonite should have killed him.
It should have killed him, yeah.
Yeah, they're not dead. First off, Rocksteady is not stupid enough to have the first appearance of the Arkham Justice League be their deaths. There's no way they're going to do that.
No, but but here's another thing too. If they're going to bring back Wonder Woman, they could always bring her back from another Earth. Fun fact.
Yeah, but I'm saying there is a way to bring back this Earth Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman, the daughter of Zeus, has died before in the comics, and they've had really elaborate ways to bring her back. Because actually, I forget where it was. It might have been on one of our streams. Someone brought up, what if the Justice League game is the Justice League is trying to bring back Wonder Woman?
Oh,
that'd be interesting.
That's a good idea.
That's what they could do. There you go. See, there you go. And again, to your point, Teladia, I do think that this was a taste test, because if you notice, this is a co-op game with people with powers, and they're probably like, let's try this out, see if we can do this and make it work with 4 players playing it as different DC heroes, and then we're going to do a Justice League game. Guarantee it.
It's also a good way for them to like balance like how powerful those characters can be, because like if Superman was in that game, like his powers are way beyond the 4 Suicide Squad members.
What I will say though, actually, you know, Teladia, go ahead.
There's 2 things I want to say. First thing is, if they're going to do a Justice League game, what would be the first villain? Darkseid. Easily.
Sweet, yeah.
Darkseid.
Now, I have another idea. Particularly, let's say the plot is revive Wonder Woman. Justice League versus the Greek gods.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool too.
Like the gods don't want her back because it like upsets the balance of things. And then this is where we can hint at Superman and Wonder Woman, because if you notice, when he showed up and she's like, Kal-El, they both stared at each other. You could tell it kind of screwed with him a little bit. So I'm like, wait a second here.
There was love there. Love at first sight.
I feel like Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory. I don't need sleep. I need answers. But yeah.
But to answer Tevia's thing, right, which is my second thing, is that Arkham Batman's death, right? Here's the thing. That is not Arkham Batman.
No, it's a clone of Arkham Batman. And by Tevia, again, if it was really disrespectful to Batman, would Kevin Conroy have recorded those lines?
Would he do the project? That's a question.
Would he do the project if he felt it was disrespectful to? Because he knows he loves Batman, and he knows what his version of Batman means to everyone.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say earlier, what's really cool, David, I don't know if you saw this, but in the Superman Wonder Woman fight, when you're escorting Amanda Waller while they fight, you can feel like the ground like shake because they're like battling. And then as you're exploring, you see like submarines have been like landed in buildings. Jared Street. Oh, okay. I'm going to say this. I've shot Lois Lane many times in this game. Whoever predicted I would do that is
we did.
So good.
We did. We both did it. I did it.
Lois Lane is the villain. She becomes a brainiac drone like in the New 52. Tevia, Superman doomed. Superman doomed. Yeah, but again, yes, that fight was awesome. And that's what I'm saying. If they could do this, there is a way that they can like really escalate this. But anyway, back to Suicide Squad. So the other thing I like, and to Dave's comment about it being a live service game, here's the thing about it though. Let's talk about the microtransactions. It is just cosmetic,
it's just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
No XP boosters, no anything. All it is just if you want to buy a costume. That's like the easy, and there's plenty you can earn just by playing the game.
Yeah. And also another cool thing that I noticed from the game is because Teladia and Jared were both already playing, and they just invited me right after I beat right after you get out of the tutorial, and they just put me in their game.
Yeah.
That's great. That's exactly what you want out of a game like this, because like you already have friends who have it, and you were on the fence, and then you're like, okay, I'll get it because I could just join your game and I'm there with you. Yeah. That's like one of the best things in games.
Yeah, exactly. And by Tevia, what makes you think they would adapt the bad parts of Superman Doom? It's not all doom and gloom, Tevia. But but yeah, that is a cool thing because you and that's what Teladia and I did anyway. Although he replayed the beginning so we could play together, but still, it's like that is a great thing because you could just join wherever your friends are. Granted, it could be hard because you would be lower level, but they could carry you like we did. But it's like that's the easiest thing. And the interesting thing is that also it's like if we're playing, you could take my Deadshot in your party and he will assist you in combat.
Exactly. I thought they actually did a really good job with this game. I do kind of think them putting such a hefty price tag on it is definitely going to keep people from playing it for a while. Because when you market something as a live service game, people are expecting free. That's what they're really expecting, just paying for like cosmetics and stuff. So I think if this game would have started at like $45 or even $30, I think it would have had way more buzz and way more people actually play it instead of people just reacting to it.
That's why I think that there's a lot of news coming out about it going on sale so soon. I think that's why. I don't think it's really because of everyone hates the game. I think it's really just because they're like, oh God, we have to lower the price tag. Because to your point, David. All right, so in terms of like the story, I thought the story was pretty good. It's not the best Arkham story. I will give you that. Compared to the Arkham Batman games, it's not the best. But I'm saying, as a story itself, it's enjoyable. It's compelling. I like it.
The one good thing about this game, we got to flip and go into the Batcave. We were able to do that.
And you can go back into the Batcave. After you complete it, you can return to the Batcave. I've done that before. I found the Batwing. The game might micro free later if microtransactions are profitable. Yeah. I'm curious how this Brainiac found the multiverse, because honestly, this reminds me of the two versions with Convergence. Well, yeah, Tevia, if you remember in the comics, Brainiac has, even pre-New 52, experimented with the multiverse. So there's, by the way, here's another, I just remembered this. Another indicator that the Justice League are coming back. What happens after you beat the Flash? His powers are infused into Brainiac people. So if we killed him, how is he infusing powers?
No.
Yeah,
they go up into the Brainiac.
That too. But I'm saying, as a follow up to that, we then fight Flash powered up villains. How does that happen if Flash is really dead?
And Batman infused Brainiac bots.
Yeah, it's like more like shadowy people, because again, Batman has no powers, but still. But it's like this game beats you over the head with a Harley Quinn baseball bat. Yeah, that they're not coming. They're not staying dead. It's just, again, I think really what it was, that people didn't want a shooter in the Arkham universe. They were instantly against it. Then it's live service, and then those leaks happen. So like, okay. Question: where is Tim Drake's Robin? Because no, he is dead. He is dead. He is dead. Because you see his mask, and you see his bloody mask on the floor of the Batcave. Because if you notice, he was there when because that hologram of Batman that shows up and like explaining to you how to take out the members of the Justice League, that was meant for Tim. And I think what happened is that he showed up, and then Arkham Batman showed up and killed him.
Or robotic Arkham Batman.
Robotic Arkham Batman.
Could be
Brainiac. Robotic. Think about it.
Oh, you mean like the Brainiac controlled Arkham Batman?
Yeah.
That's what I think happened. 100%. But I gotta say, it was kind of. I will say that my favorite part of the game is when you first encounter Batman, and it's a Predator style room, but you're the one being hunted.
I did not like that.
That was scary as hell, dude. I'm like, no, not the one with the fear toxin, Teladia. Not that one. The one in the Batman museum from near the beginning of the game. That was great, because what's so cool is that then we're being picked off one by one, and I'm like, But
the fear toxin one?
Toxin one was tough. The fear toxin one was tough. If he's dead, then what does that mean for the rest of the Bat family? I see. He's the only one that they confirmed was in Metropolis. So I would imagine, until we get more like information, I'd imagine that the rest of them are alive. So I wouldn't count out like Oracle or like
Nightwing, all them.
Like, what they could do. Here's how they indicate that the Justice League are alive. You ready? Oracle calls in, and she's like, "Hey, I'm getting this weird distress signal. It's coming from Brainiac's ship. It's a signal that only Batman like programs and stuff. We think they're still alive on Brainiac's ship." And then this is where you actually get to go on Brainiac's ship. Yeah, I think the timeline will be reset regardless. They won't leave the Robins dead.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they will reset the timeline. I think they'll at least do a Justice League game before they reset the timeline.
I think this is why I'm saying the Darkseid theory works out, because they could do a Flashpoint Flash game after that, and Rocksteady could be the ones to do it.
There you go. That works. I would love that. And personally, I like that Predator room with the Bat Museum. That was awesome. But yeah, that fear toxin one was like brutal. But what I like, because I recently replayed that mission and went to all the little stations and stuff, and it explains like how Batman joined the Justice League and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Tevia, to answer your question, really,
Flashpoint.
No. Think about Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Think about that, and think about the Arkhamverse. Similar?
Very similar, if you notice, in terms of tone and stuff. And plus, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that you can play as Batfleck and Arkham Knight.
Yep.
Yeah.
More on that on my future game stream starting, I'm thinking next week, where I'll play through Arkham Knight.
Yo.
So there you go. I will be playing Batfleck rules, which means I will be brutal. So let's go. Let's go. People are going to be killed, but not killed, if you know what I mean, according to Zack Snyder's rules.
In a sort of technical kind of way.
Technical kind of way. Exactly. Dave says the Justice League could be Flashpoint with the Flashpoint version of the characters. I see. That's a good idea, Dave, but I think we all want a Justice League game, Justice League game before we do Flashpoint. Just do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in terms of like, let's talk about the weaknesses of the game. Let's be fair. The weaknesses is that some of the missions do get a little repetitive.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That's my one criticism of the game. They do get a little repetitive. And then really that's my one critique, is that a lot of the stuff you do is like the same thing over and over again, recycled. That's it. But I do enjoy, Teladia, your critique of the game.
My critique of the game, I would say repetitiveness. And I would also say bugs. Bugs are that need.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. The bugs is that the servers aren't as secure right now. Well, secure aren't as stable right now as we encountered twice on our streams.
Yeah, twice. No, 3 times.
There's a few times, let me put it that way. And it's like, there were some glitches like with the shields things. And I'm like, I can take like a few visual stutters that I can take. But when it comes to like it affecting my durability, that's when I really have to say, okay, let's just stop this. Let's stop this. Apparently the servers going down aren't helping. Yeah, that's true. After the boss battles, from what I say, so disappointing. Also the boss battles. Well, that's the other thing. I've seen some people critique that you don't exactly take out the Justice League in unique ways. You just shoot them. And I'm like, it's a shooter, though.
Yeah.
It's a shooter, though.
All of it, everybody on your team only has guns.
It's a looter shooter game. What do you expect?
Yeah.
That's a way I think they could have improved it, is like make it so, and I believe Tevia brought this up on my stream, is have it so like only Deadshot has the guns. Harley's the melee person with the baseball bat. Boomerang's more range, but does less damage than Deadshot because he has the boomerangs. And then King Shark is the bruiser. And it would make the characters more unique a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that too.
I mean, I became a bruiser stroke tank player anyway, so and because it just made sense.
What do you think, David?
Like I didn't play the game as long as you guys did, but my time as Harley, like I've noticed that her guns weren't unique to her. That you like the more little loot boxes they gave you at every mission had guns in them, and you could just use them. And I was like, oh, that's interesting that her being so small can carry the minigun around.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. It would have been also kind of cool if you got like unique, at least you could have gotten unique guns to each character. Like you would have gotten a unique SMG just for Harley. I'm here. I heard it had less players than the Avengers game had. The DLC campaigns need to hook people in and build goodwill. As soon as they start bringing back the Justice League, I think that will bring people back into the game.
Yeah. Watch when.
Well, I was just saying, I think them just making it cheaper will get more people playing it.
That too.
No, I mean them making it cheaper right now is not a good option. Right now,
why?
It's not gonna. Because they need money. WB needs money right now.
That is
true.
true.
Yes, that's true.
So
But it's better to have like a wider net to get it, because the thing with live service games, once you get people playing, they're like, oh my god, I wish my guy looked like that, and they buy the skin, and if they buy 4 skins, they already bought the price of the game.
the thing is, right, in my opinion, is like if I was in Rocksteady shoes right now, I'd be working night and day to get this DLC. No issue, problems, day one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
that's a good idea too.
Because here's the problem. The game did have an issue with the first impressions when you log on. It said you already completed the game. That was a problem. That was a severe problem for early access. Are you kidding me?
Oh boy.
That's a
Jared,
massive issue. By the way, off topic, Halo Season 1 came out, and oh boy, they're showing my opinion. So, no, Tavia, I'm going to say no on that. I'm going to say no on that. Season 2 so far is better than Season 1. Don't insult Season 2.
How many episodes have come out?
2.
Oh, wow.
They released 2 at once. They're better. So far, I'm just going to say so far. There's still time for the show to let me down severely like Season 1 did. But
Dave,
so far, it's better.
Dave, they have actually made sales expectations.
Yeah,
because
they have.
They have, because haters are playing the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be streaming it.
They still buy the game. And that's the thing with people saying, I didn't enjoy this game. You still bought it.
Yeah.
You still bought it, yeah.
Ultimately, as long as you're buying the game, the studios don't care what you think about it.
Yeah. It's all about the money.
So if it made sales expectations, they're not going to pull the plug on it.
Yeah, they're not going to pull it. If it was leaked out before the game was announced, then it would have been cancelled.
See, here's the thing. Here's what people conveniently forget by comparing it with Avengers. Avengers didn't make sales expectations. That's the difference. Suicide Squad did.
Mm-hmm.
Because DC has better video games.
They really do.
That.
Like, it's not even
it's
close.
It's not only that, but the fact that the developers for Avengers did not flipping care about the game.
Mm-hmm.
No,
or the characters that they had in the game.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly.
No, they straight up took the mickey out of the player base. The content creators that covered the game took the mickey out of them. I know this because I have friends who actually were on the content creator program for Avengers, and they literally have told me this. And furthermore, it's like when they see Suicide Squad, it's a completely different ball game. The developers
I'll
care.
say this: Suicide Squad is way more fun than Avengers by far. I still like to play occasionally. I'll throw on Avengers if I want to play something. I'll replay the campaign, but Suicide Squad is. I will say this:
miles better.
Let me put it this way. Overall, I have a blast playing the game. And that's the thing that Rocksteady did do. No matter your opinions about the story direction, they made a fun to play game. And that is half the battle. If you can get that done, because as far as I know, people playing the game, even if they don't like the story, they'll be like, the gameplay is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it's very smooth feeling once you get the hang of the movement. It's and movement's like a huge like selling point to games now.
It is.
And Tevye, to answer your thing, just to say, oh, they did. I had no idea. Well, here's the thing. The reason why I know this is because you know content creators that I know that are playing the game, and I think you know that, Tevye. I think you do know who I'm on about because they have been playing it and they've been hating on the game. And furthermore, it's like the fan base, they'll pick it up anyway. The fan base will pick it up anyway. It's an Arkham.
Exactly.
It's a DC game and it's Arkhamverse game. And there you go.
Yeah.
But so another thing I did like, I like the Kevin Conroy tribute at the end where they have Batman standing in a recreation of Batman the Animated Series. I'm like, okay, and it brought a little tear to my eye when it said, thank you, Kevin. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. And you're right about that. So that's a sigh of relief that it met sales expectations. Because if it didn't, then I would guarantee you then the DLC ain't coming out. No way.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, again, Dave brought up a good point. Guardians of the Galaxy was really fun. 100%. I'm just saying, as a whole, DC has more fun games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why, that's why, even Gotham Knights met sales expectations. People say if it did review reviews didn't do great, but it met sales expectations. Same thing here. It didn't
And
do great
apparently
in
it's
reviews.
reviewing great on Steam, and there was no indicator that Steam is taking down reviews.
I'm talking about IGN and them.
Well, yeah, well, with IGN, it's just because they're pissy that they didn't get review copies.
IGN is like terrible at reviewing things now. The last like 3 years, they've completely changed. Like they're putting their seal of approval on anything doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, it's like, don't they give out a rating of like 7 out of 10 like it's candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. There's no way. There's no way.
So we'll do our score, then we'll change topics. I think.
That's a good idea. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 because there's still room for improvement, but overall, I had a blast playing the game. How about you, Teladia?
I would say an 8 out of 10 too, because of just not only because of the story, because the co-op is so much fun to play with your friends, and the longevity with you playing with your friends is there. You can see it.
Also, the other thing I will say is that as you play the game, the environment changes. And I got to say, that Wonder Woman versus Superman fight in the background where you could see them fighting and then you can hear like all this, like, you can hear the carnage. That impressed me. Like, I was like, okay, it makes you feel like you're in there. How about you, David?
I haven't played it as long as you guys, but from what I did play, I think I would give it a 7.5 only because I really expected the difference between the characters to feel like they're more different from each other. Other than that, I would say it's really, really fun and people should at least try it before they go off on it online.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Tevye, to reply to your thing about I'm hoping Arkham Origins did it definitely got good reviews, but it did not meet sales expectations. That's the difference.
That's why I don't think it'll get a remaster, Dave. That's why, because you still need a guarantee that it would sell. The reason why Arkham Asylum and SETI got remasters is because there was a guarantee that people would like pick up in mass numbers.
Yeah.
And the thing about Arkham Knight, that game does not need a remaster. It still looks great. There's no way that does so not need that still looks great. And I'm like,
I think that is one thing that also leads me to give this game a 7.5 is looking at Arkham Knight and looking at this game. I still think Arkham Knight might even look better in some spots.
Although I will say this game has a day-night cycle that includes the weather, and it'll start really raining too. I'm like, again, it's the small details that mean a lot, and I appreciate that. Oh yeah, I love Arkham Origins. I've enjoyed all the Arkham games. I'm gonna die on that hill. Now, next topic. So you guys want to discuss DCU, our favorite superhero games, or James Gunn?
James Gunn. Let's get it out the way.
Okay. James Gunn statements. Okay, so the reason why we're talking about this because David originally suggested that we talk about the Supergirl casting, which I haven't seen what the actress has been in the past, so I can't really judge her. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan.
I was going to say, like...
My issue... So, Tevye, here's why I'm talking about this. Because James Gunn has said in the past that he would never cast someone for someone else's movie. And then he cast Supergirl, but she's not in the movie.
Also, this is... Because I brought this up to Jared, because I was interested in James Gunn's what he says sometimes, and he said that he wouldn't cast an actor or actress in a role unless there was a script written, which made my brain think about when he was like, he said that. So, and then she got cast as Supergirl, which made me think they already have the script for either that movie or she's going to appear sometime sooner, or it made my conspiracy theory brain go off and think maybe the Authority isn't going to be the second movie. Maybe they're just going to go straight into Superwoman or Supergirl.
Or maybe this is James Gunn trying to get people to invest in his universe because it's like, oh, we have all these different characters. We have Supergirl now. We have Supergirl now. It's because, again, I think the pressure is getting to him that maybe Superman Legacy won't be that big. Dave,
I think so.
James Gunn said she's not in Superman Legacy.
I think what he says and what he does are going to be two different things during his time as the whatever it is he is, the boss man, I guess.
which he's going to learn that as the boss man, you have to have a single cohesive. You can't change your mind as much as that man does.
Also, he worked with Kevin Feige. I don't get why he doesn't just like look at how Kevin Feige says nothing to anyone and just does that.
Yeah, that's what he should do. He should say, I'm not discussing any DC things on my social media, so don't ask me. Just come and see the movies. We'll talk about them in interviews. He also he also has indicated that he doesn't do podcast interviews, and I'm like, you don't go out to the people. At least some of the actors do podcasts, and I'm like, at least go on a fan podcast or something like that too. This is where you can explain all that stuff. But I don't know. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way the minute he was on the Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and he said no one reads comic books. You're the head of DC Studios. Tavia, isn't Superman Legacy going against Jurassic Park 7? Yeah. Yes. That's gonna be an interesting box office battle.
People will probably make memes like they did for Barbenheimer for that.
Jurassic Park. I'm trying to just question.
Dinosaur Man.
That's why I said that they're going to do a Justice League game, because who said that's going to be the last Arkham game. So it's like there's no way they're not going to do a Justice League game after this, particularly when they have a proven concept that they can do fun co-op games.
Yeah.
Because think of Suicide Squad as a proof of concept. That's what it is. But anyway,
it's like they made a universe, and there were so many times where I was like, man, Superman could just like be here. Like I could be Superman right now, and it'd be sick.
What would have been cool is if in Arkham Knight, it's like Superman does show up just to offer to help Batman, and Batman goes, "I got this," and Superman just flies away, just to show that like he exists. I mean, they have references to Superman in the Flash and like the criminal dialogue, so we know that they did exist. But it's interesting about that. But the problem I have with this is that I never know what's going on, because my problem with James Gunn is that he changes his opinion based on what's
all
popular.
The time.
Based on what's popular. That's it. Gunn also said there's not going to be any character cameo to promote their movie, and yet Supergirl appears in Legacy. Still allegedly, because he did say she's not appearing.
I think that he might spend too much time on the internet. And that's why he just like says stuff randomly that confuses everyone. He's like, "Oh, look, they don't like how I said this, or I haven't said anything in a while, so I'll say something that's really confusing." I will say that I am really happy about who he picked, because I've watched all of House of the Dragon. I thought because she's only in the first 6 episodes, because that show does a time skip in the middle, and it like fast forwards like 10 years, and they have a whole new actress be the older version of herself, and I thought that was all very cool. But anyways, Alcock is her name. I can't remember her first name. I think it's Millie, but she's great, and she can like fight and stuff, and I think that that's exactly what they need for this role.
Yeah, but again, it's like you're casting someone for someone else's movie. That's the thing there.
Yeah.
That's the problem with showing so many characters in like one movie, because Superman Legacy is becoming the Justice League Unlimited movie. That's basically what it is at this point. Because how many DC characters are going to show up in this damn movie? I'm like, stop. She does not look anything like Supergirl. Again, they'll give her a wig and stuff. I don't think necessarily that she's not going to look like Supergirl.
I also don't think that it's super important for her to look like Supergirl, because a lot of people really like Sasha Calle, and she looked nothing like her.
Well, remember, she looked like a particular version of Supergirl.
Yeah.
Injustice. So technically, she did look just like Supergirl. What do you think, Teladia?
It's hard to decide about James Gunn, because
he's going to change his mind again.
Yeah, he changed his mind again. It's like 1 minute he's like, Supergirl might be in it, might not be, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not, and I'm just like, Didn't you say you were gonna do A, B, and C, and yet you did it anyway?
Now, my question is, what do you guys think the odds are that this constant back and forth changing minds will hurt Superman legacy, because no one knows what's going to happen in the movie in that way. So they're like, why would I go see this?
Oh, it's all up in the air at the moment. Wait until the trailer drops, I'd say.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think the trailer is really when people are going to decide if they're going to see that movie or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could even cast like 5 more people, and it wouldn't matter until we saw the trailer.
Yeah, because the trailer has to wow people, because if it doesn't wow people, I can see them starting to say, okay, this is going to be a one and done, and then we're just going to not do this. But hey, I want it to do great, because you know what? He's casting a lot of characters that haven't gotten live action movies. So I'm like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. But I'm not going to automatically go like, DC is saved. I'm like, no. I bet Superman Legacy will be about Superman inspiring other superheroes on the way of his heroism instead of the Authority. That could be a great way to do the movie. It was even happening with James Gunn's Superman. Tavia, no one knows. No one knows.
The more news that comes out, the more I am confused about where it's going, because they talked about how there were script leaks, and then he took that all back, that none of that script is true, or none of the rumors about it were true. And then they were like, the Authority's going to be in. He's like, no. And then everything that has been leaked, he has said no to. So we don't really know what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a good place to leave this topic. It's not that much we can go for. So you guys want to talk about what DCU projects we are most excited for, or our favorite superhero games?
Favorite DC games.
All right. So now we're going to talk about, and it doesn't have to be just DC. Wait, how well do you think it'll do at the box office? I think it'll do Man of Steel numbers at best. Again, this is just based upon what we know now. Again, like David said, if the trailer comes out and it wows people, I could see this doing very well. That's all. That's what I'm going to say right there. I'm going to say, Tevia, I will revisit that question when the trailer comes out. So, so in terms of superhero games, it doesn't have to be Marvel or DC. I mean, I would prefer it be Marvel and DC so I can make sure I played these games. But the only reason I we're getting Authority is because it's right up Gunn's alley. Yeah, that's why we're getting a bunch of really obscure characters. Like, I'm sorry, the first project in your universe should not be Creature Commandos.
Yeah. It really shouldn't.
It should be
Superman. I thought that was supposed to already come out by now. It's
coming out this fall.
What? More confusion from this guy.
It's an animated series, so you're already limiting the audience of people that are going to go see it. And then people are like, "Who the hell is that?" That's why no one showed up to see Blue Beetle, even though Blue Beetle was a good movie. But anyway, so on to favorite superhero games. So it can be top 5 Marvel, DC, whatever you guys want. So actually, I'll start with Teladia. Go ahead.
For me, DC games, Arkham City, of course, but that's my number 1. Number 2 is Arkham Asylum. The number 3 is Arkham Knight. Number 4, I would have to say for Superman Returns. But
Thank you. That is because that is the model to how to do a good Superman game. The model.
And by the way, specifically the Xbox version, not the PlayStation. The Xbox. There's 2 versions of the game which one of them had a different mode or whatnot. But number 5, I would say 5th and final DC game that I really like. I would have to say DC Universe Online.
Yes. By the way, we all have to start playing that together at some point. So we'll do that. Mine are Injustice 2. Actually, no, DC Online because of everything we can do. Injustice 2, Arkham Knight, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Superman Returns in terms of DC games. In terms of Marvel, the 2 Spider-Man games, obviously. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Nice.
Ooh.
Somehow that Wolverine game redeems that crappy. I don't know how they did it, but it works.
Just
And
wait
they
till the
actually did
Wolverine
it.
game. Wait till the Wolverine games. That might top that.
And by Atchison, they have that. It's called Justice League Heroes. It's an older game. The reason why that's not on my list, even though I like that game, is because it's like Ultimate Alliance, except you can't change heroes all the time like you can on Ultimate Alliance. So it's like Ultimate Alliance Light. And a Justice League Avengers Alliance game. That would be cool. A Marvel DC team up game. How about you, David?
So I actually haven't played too many like superhero games, but I have played enough to have like a top 5. But it's between both of them.
All right, go ahead.
Dang, it's gonna sound crazy to say Spider-Man for PS4 is my number 1. That's probably my favorite superhero game I've ever played. And then after that, it's probably Injustice 2, and then Arkham Knight. It's 3, and then I don't know if you guys even played this game, or maybe I'm just that old, but the Incredible Hulk for PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, I played it.
Insane. And when I was a little kid, like I thought that game was amazing. That might even be number 1 for me. Like thinking about all the memories I have of it.
Was
and
that
then,
the movie tie-in Hulk game?
Yeah.
I played that.
Yeah.
I did play that. Yeah, that's all I had on Xbox. And I got the Hulk Buster suit because I also played the Iron Man game. Or that Iron Man game was dope.
Yeah. And then I'd say my number 5 is probably Capcom versus Marvel, because at the comic book shop that I used to play Magic at, they had it set up in the corner and it was free. Like it was one of the arcade style ones, and it was free, and we would play it for hours and hours and hours and hours. And like that's another one that will all those memories will just stay with me forever.
There you go. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, Hulk Ultimate Destruction is another great one. Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction was good. The reason why Wolverine Origin game is good is because the movie got delayed, so they had like 4 months. Well, not only that, it expands upon like significant plot points of that movie, and like you fight Sentinels also in the game. So I'm like, yeah, this is way better. And plus, it's an M-rated Wolverine game. You can't complain about an M-rated Wolverine game. Tevia's favorites are Spider-Man 1, 2, Spider-Man 1, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Ultimate Spider, a good one.
Yeah,
Injustice, Midnight Suns. I've heard that's good.
That's like it's an RPG from because I looked up like gameplay from it, and it looked nothing like how I thought it would play.
Yeah. The Arkham series, and of course the Infamous series. I've seen gameplay of Infamous.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
That's a comic book?
It's a superhero game.
Oh, interesting.
It still counts. It still counts. It still counts. But anyway, anyone remember that there was movie bulk? No, I haven't yet. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 and 3. See, here's my problem with Ultimate Alliance 3. They decided, let's make it exclusive for the Nintendo Switch. Okay? That's when I'm like, what?
See, we got another Capcom fan in the chat too.
Ultimate Marvel versus Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3. Yeah, I played one of the Ultimate Marvel versus one of the Marvel versus Capcom games, and it's really fun. I like that one. Midnight Sun story sucked, but the gameplay is good. Both X-Men Legends games are way better than the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. Aren't those basically the predecessors to Ultimate Alliance? X-Men Legends, I think so.
I think so. I'm not sure, but I
feel like Spider-Man has had Spider-Man and Batman have just like carried the video games that they've been in.
Well, for decades, yes, they've been the 2 most popular IPs. But soon, obviously, we've got the Wonder Woman game coming out.
Oh, that's so sick.
The Wolverine game, we've got that coming out.
The Blade game.
Obviously, WB Montreal have got a second game in production that I know about that some people don't know. So I'm not going to spoil it for anybody about that.
I feel like an Aquaman game would be so sweet.
They had that.
No,
they had that.
They had an Aquaman game a long time ago, but it wasn't as popular.
Because like after playing, I think I would put Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League in my top 5. That game is pretty sweet.
It's fun enough that I'll put it in there. Yeah. What about the new Miles Morales game? How is it? Miles Morales is awesome. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Miles is cool. Yeah.
Like Miles' solo game feels like the Spider-Man game, but it's just like a little 8-hour DLC. That's what it feels like. And like combat's a lot better, but the story is like really lacking.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Green Lantern. I've said Green Lantern game, but it's a Mass Effect style RPG.
If we're gonna get a Green Lantern game, it'd be pretty soon if we're gonna get that. And I would probably see that, but in my opinion, it has to be a DCU game. It has to be set in the DC universe just to get people hyped up for.
Oh, speaking of James Gunn's statements, did you guys see how he walked back that everything is gonna be tied in, like movies and and video games? I'm like, I could have told you that. Yeah,
like that's so much to ask for.
I'm like, it's like, why are you gonna give people more homework, dude? Do we need a Martian Manhunter game?
That'd be sweet.
That'd be cool, actually. Because
it would be cool to show up in the Green Lantern game, or that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
TMNT game plans as a superhero game.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. I saw that.
It's set in the Lost Ronin. It is the Lost Ronin, isn't it?
Yeah, the Last Ronin.
Yeah.
The Last Ronin video game that's coming out soon as well. Connecting video games to movies would be a death sentence.
Yeah.
Tevia, here's the thing.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. James Gunn might be a gamer, but he doesn't know how game development works.
Exactly.
I do.
Oh, Power Rangers would be a cool game.
Oh, there was a Power Rangers game.
Shattered Grid, baby. The Injustice of Power Rangers.
No, you mean Battle for the Grid.
Battle for the Grid. I'm sorry. I knew it was. It's the Shattered Grid storyline. So it's that.
But there was a Power Rangers game that was similar to Gotham Knights that was in development from 2016 that never went past the concept art stage. It had different Power Rangers, from Mighty Morphin to Zeo to Alien Rangers. You had all the Power Rangers literally in the game, and you're going to be able to play as them.
Did you play Gotham Knights, Tevia?
Wait, that's how I met him. That's how I met him.
That's how you guys met?
What happened was...
Wait, time out. Wait, he called me Tevia.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Teladia. Okay, so what happened?
I was reading Tevia's thing.
Yeah.
But I was looking at you.
Nick and I were streaming one day, and all of a sudden I get a chat that says, "Oh, I have like inside information about Gotham Knights. Can I come on the stream?" And it was this dude. Then we enjoyed hanging out with him so much that I was like, come on.
Pretty much, yeah. I had inside knowledge for Gotham Knights. I had a former friend that was a game journalist, and furthermore, I had somebody that is actually data mining the game. So I had literally knowledge about Gotham Knights, assets for the game that never made it in. I covered that on my channel. Literally, these guys know about it too. That how much in depth I covered. I told them about it, and they were like, "What? Boom Tube's Cyborg was going to be in Gotham Knights?"
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, all of that.
Is Gotham Knights good?
Oh yeah, for if you take for what it is, it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a fun. The story's great.
The story's great. The only problem is it's not crossplay. That's the only nitpick thing I have.
Because I've looked at it a bunch of times, and that's another game where I'm like, man, I wish that these prices weren't like so high, because I feel like
Well, it came on Game Pass, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
on,
Now it's like free and stuff. I've seen it for free before, but back when it was coming out, I was thinking like, man, I kind of want to play it, but I don't have anyone else that would play that with me.
oh, I played with friends, and it was really fun to play as Nightwing, and I finished the story. The only thing is the story was really, really short. That was another thing I really didn't like. But other than that, I got to talk to the developers of the game. I know the
Oh, nice.
developers who worked on the game, and that's the thing about me. I have very good, intel.
Yeah, yeah.
People within the gaming industry and people that are, that aren't in the industry that are actually telling me things.
And that's part of what Teladia brings to this, besides having an excellent taste in ships. So Dave says, what if the Wonder Woman game is about her for fighting through the Greek underworld? And again, because here's the Wonder Woman game is not in the Arkhamverse.
Nope,
It's
it's
like
not.
its own thing, isn't it?
That's why that's a good idea, Dave, if it were in the Arkhamverse. Yes, his second death was really stupid. It was really stupid.
So I think it's a good way we could segue to the last topic, and
Let's
then
go. All right, DCU projects that we're excited for. Of the ones that are announced, Green Lantern, really, because it's been a while since we've gotten good Green Lantern content, and it's a buddy cop movie or show. I never know with this guy. It's a movie, buddy cop
No,
movie with Hal and John.
it's
Sign
a
me
show.
up.
It's a
Oh, it's a
TV show.
It's a show. All right. It's a buddy cop show with Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan. Sign me the hell up. What about you, Teladia?
I'll decide on Superman Legacy. That's iffy right now. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's really interesting for me. Green Lantern, of course.
Yeah, I read the comic that's based on Woman of Tomorrow. That's actually really good.
And Batman, Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, because it's the Bat Family. Because we haven't had a Bat Family movie
since 1990s. Since 1997.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Batman and Robin came out? I thought Batman Forever. Didn't that have Robin in it too? And Batwoman or Batgirl?
No, that was Batman and Robin, 1997.
Oh, I thought that was 2000. I could have sworn that was that year.
No, I have the anthology, so I have.
I feel like I've lost hype over Superman Legacy. That's crazy to say. But I've gained hype on Supergirl. Now that I know who's going to be, and like the more, because I like flipped through that book a bunch just to like look at the artwork in it. The more I look at it, I'm like, man, this is going to be crazy if they can make it look like this.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Really, with me, actually, the number one thing I'm looking forward to is Batman Brave and the Bold. Really, that's it. And Booster Gold, because I like Booster. And by the way, that is a project I called. I knew he was going to announce a Booster Gold project because you can't not. In terms of, am I excited for Peacemaker Season 2? Hell no.
Nope.
Because I didn't like Season 1. And I rewatched his Suicide Squad movie today. I couldn't complete it because here's the thing. I don't like overly vulgar superhero projects at all. And that is like all really infantile jokes. And at a certain point, there was a place for it at some points. It's just James Gunn was overindulgent with it. And I'm terrified that he's going to be overly indulgent in it now that he's in charge of DC.
I remember when Suicide Squad, his version came out. I remember watching it on Max, and we didn't even finish watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's because a lot of what I watch, a lot of it depends, especially at home, is if my wife likes it, and she was like, "This is so boring. Please change it."
Well, not only that. Okay, so David, are you ready? Did you watch the end battle?
No. Well, I have seen it now, but that day we didn't watch the end battle. But I have seen it
on YouTube. How about the fact that Bloodsport is this great marksman, but he can't hit Star's eye?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? It's a giant eye. Yeah, I can't stand Gunn's humor either. Well, what about the boys? The boys I make a little exception for because that's the way the source material is.
Yeah.
I don't like people changing characters to make them more vulgar. That's what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I do not
And like the whole
understand.
point,
Yeah. Go ahead.
and the whole point of The Boys is it's kind of like somebody who wrote a superhero story who was over superheroes. They were like, oh, they're all the same. They're all boring. What if I was just killed them all? Like that was the point of The Boys, and that's why it works so well when it's adapted, because right now we're kind of in a number where like superheroes are like the fatigue is like, I'm not ready to say it's there because there's just a lot of like bad projects that they keep greenlighting and putting out and it's making people not like them. But The Boys is a really refreshing look on that genre, and that's why I think it works.
And Randy says, can't Warner and DC get their A-list heroes right before they go through? Yes, exactly, Randy.
Yeah,
that's the way it
exactly.
should work. That's the way it should work. The way I would have done DCU if I were Gunn, keep the projects if you're that hard on doing them. But Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman have to be first.
Yeah.
Then you can do the D-listers, and don't give any of the D-listers movies. Give them shows.
Exactly. Because if it was up to me, I would have started Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Like that's literally the order of the movies I would have.
The Trinity.
Yeah.
I would have done Superman, Batman. Do Superman, Batman. Do build up to a Justice League movie and then expand after that, and then you're good. And obviously, if I ran DC, I would have them complete the SnyderVerse first. But after that's what I plan. That's what I plan. Yeah, because DC has to prove that they can complete a story. So far, they haven't proven that. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Okay, Teladia. See you later, brother. But that's my issue, because they just pulled the plug on the SnyderVerse and they expect us to get invested in a new universe when I have no indicator that we'll get past Superman.
Mm-hmm. What I would have done if I was Gunn, which I think would make a lot less people angry, but maybe some angry too. But there's no way you can release anything with these characters and people not say something about them.
Yeah,
is I would have been like, hey Zach, come back. I know you wanted to do like multiple movies, make it into one. You're gonna release it. We're gonna finish. Yeah, we're gonna finish your story. We're gonna put as much of it as you possibly can into it, because we are gonna and have it end in a way that we can reboot the universe.
Here's what you do. You don't even tell them put it into one movie. We'll give you an HBO Max show. Make it a show. Put everything you want into, and then obviously afterwards we can combine like season 1 into one movie and season 2 into the movie to make it a 2-season show. Season 1 is Justice League Part 2, and season 2 is Justice League Part 3. You're done. That's it. Mm-hmm. Have it end. You can even have it end with the Flash rebooting the timeline. And then and that's it. The Tomorrowverse, the way they ended air quotes the DC AMU with Flash going back and doing another Flashpoint, it reboots the universe. And then you're good. That's all they had to do.
It also gives you time to prepare your next universe.
Yeah.
So instead of like us like going crazy over all these like random things that the producers will say, or like, oh, here's a casting, or here's that. It won't have us like freak out all weird over it, because we know that there's a plan. Because if you just say Zach's gonna do this thing, it's gonna take a year, and then we're gonna go into the future with something different.
Yeah, because that way you prove that you can complete a story, and then you go. I mean, am I sad that we wouldn't get a Man of Steel 2 or like a Ben Affleck Bat movie? Yeah, but I would have taken this. It's like, okay, we got that. You could do those movies in like tie-in comics or something like that, and just go with it. Which is the Tomorrowverse is ending as of late. But my point is, I've long said, David, that they should have used Zach's movies as a delaying tactic until they got their plan together, just so they can release stuff until they get their plan locked in. Just say, okay, so Zach, complete your story. How and then obviously they would figure out a way to do it. And then while they do that, they're in the background planning out, okay, so what's this universe going to look like at the end? The only thing I'll give you, Zach, is just like you said, David, end it so it reboots, or it just ends. It just ends. That's all. That's all you need. Just say, okay, we're moving on from this universe. If we want to, we can continue on with comics, which I still think they could do with like Zach's story, just released as comics which would lead to like a movie or animation. I still want Man of Steel 2 because it would have been really awesome. Obviously we all want Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill. Obviously,
there's a lot of things that people would have freaked out for.
A Deathstroke movie.
Yeah.
That was going to be a grounded military Deathstroke movie. Hell yes. What about, instead of trying to make a franchise, what if instead they made, that's the other thing that I would have done, that really I would do at this point. If Superman Legacy doesn't work.
Yeah, they're definitely going to switch to this plan.
I would say do just standard one, do like they did before, like Superman 1, 2, and 3, Dark Knight 1, 2, and 3. Don't do the shared universe. Abandon that temporarily, just temporarily, to like give people a rest from having to do all this crap, and then you can start that up.
Or if they truly believe that people don't really read comics, you could just hire a director, give them a single book, and say, make this a movie. Or more, maybe 2, but like that's the other thing that I think they could do. So it's just like a totally standalone movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were so close with the post-credit scene from Black Adam. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Or that's the other thing, is that Matthew Vaughn says he would want to do a Henry Cavill Superman movie that's Red Sun.
Yeah, like there's so much untapped potential in them going into Elseworlds that I don't know why they haven't done it sooner.
Yeah. I'm like, even actually brings up another good one. Dark Knight freaking Returns.
Yeah.
Which is basically BVS, but still. Yeah, but Ben Affleck's movie script was so awesome. It had Marv Wolfman, co-creator of Deathstroke, saying, yes, I approve of this script. It's awesome.
Marv Wolfman wrote Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, that's so huge for him to say that.
He created Deathstroke, and Deathstroke was going to be the villain of that movie. Or, yes, don't have a shared universe altogether. Breathe, because DC honestly did consistently better when they did like with the Nolan Batman movies, where it was just like one or so movies, or like obviously with the Snyder movies before they pulled the rug out from under them. Heck, adapt to Cease. That could also work. That could work as a Max series. They make it like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Where it follows Constantine in the zombie apocalypse. I say Constantine because that way you're not like, well, Superman could just kill everyone.
But like a lot of the big time heroes are like zombified in that story. So that story could really work because it uses a lot of like the lower, like the C and B tier characters.
Actually, that's right up Gunn's alley because he's into those brutal and gory movies where the B and C tiers work. Actually, that would work. Since when does DC tap into untapped potential? DC wasting potential? I'm still waiting for a Superman Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, like, and Wonder Woman's another one that's just like totally like Gal Gadot is like, to me, like one of the most perfect Wonder Womans ever. And I don't know if we'll get another one like her.
Probably won't, but there you go. It's going to be a while until they do a Dark Knight Returns movie. Pieces of that comic have been used in many other things to the point where it wouldn't feel original. I know when Zach said he would love to do a Dark Knight Returns movie, but it's like you did it kind of. Well, the other thing is that Zach also,
for it.
Is that Zach keeps hinting if Netflix gets the rights, of course I'll come and complete my story. So I'm like, he's telling you, anyone that tells you Zach has moved on, not paying attention.
Yeah, seriously. I also kind of think that just like a couple characters and have like multiple movies just follow them would also work. Like I do think a World's Finest would work, a Superman Wonder Woman, that would work, or like Batman Wonder Woman. I know you don't really like
Kingdom
that.
Freaking Come.
Yeah, or that.
I would pick live action because it's gonna be really hard to animate that art style. Do live action because then you can have Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill. Yes. Why wait, Dark Knights of I'm gonna.
That would be so good.
Darkest Metal is okay, but how about a Dark Knights of Steel movie?
Would also go crazy.
Game of Thrones style DC. I'm telling you. There you go. That would be dope. Why doesn't DC hire us, David? We could fix their entire movie division.
I don't like what I don't understand is there's people who are paid millions to plan their universe, and they're like, we're gonna make a Booster Gold movie. It's gonna be perfect.
Like that's the idea. No one knows who Booster Gold is. That's the right idea.
Like that's what they arrived at with their millions of dollars of think tank is we're gonna make a Booster Gold movie. We're gonna make an Authority movie. Have you heard of these characters? No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Nickname says a DC Trinity movie might be fun. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I would love a Trinity movie. The one thing I will say, I'll give Gunn credit. He tells you what books these movies are based on in the announcement. That I will say, because I've long said that works. The Warworld Saga is a movie. Now that's an original Superman movie that doesn't feature Lois Lane.
And is like all off planet, which is super cool, which is something that I wish that they would maybe try.
Yeah, or Up in the Sky.
You know,
because
that
kind of deals with that. Yeah, Superman Doomsday, they've done the death of Superman to death. I don't want another death of Superman movie. Most people would do a better job than DC. Yeah, most people that have a passing knowledge of DC Comics would do a better job than the people they hire. Granted, Booster Gold is a character that could be very popular. Mainstream audience have done well. The Authority too. Yeah, but the problem is you have to get people to see. Yeah, exactly. You have to get because everyone always says, "Well, Guardians of the Galaxy did well." That's because
movie.
And that's because Marvel had built up enough goodwill with the fan base that at that point they were like, if it has the Marvel logo, I'll go see it. DC has never had that since BVS, probably, I would say. Since that version of Justice League that doesn't exist.
And another thing about Guardians is it's really good. That's another thing that sets it apart. Like, not only were they unknown characters, but it was really good. And it was like the 10th movie in an already successful franchise. It had a lot of things on its side.
Oh, actually, Randy says no. New 52 Superman Doomed. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That works. The one where he was turning into Doomsday. That's an original way to do it. Well, first off, I think they should have done all of the new 52 storylines as movies. I think those would be really good. Heck, don't adapt Superman Rebirth for an animated series. That wasn't popular enough to draw the crowd, Tevia. I know why you want that to be an animated series. But
you could just make the Super Sons its own thing. That could work. And you don't even have to explain like Superman having a child in it. You just have Damian and John running around.
Just change who the mother is and you're good to go.
Or not even mention it. Just have Damian and John doing stuff. Nobody needs to know.
Yeah, exactly. You could. The problem is, I don't think the Super Sons is a brand that has the draw to bring mainstream audiences.
Yeah, not for a movie.
Not for a movie. Not even really for us. Maybe for a series because a lot of hardcore DC fans see the series. But no, not for a movie. That's why I don't think that would happen. Again, I could be wrong, but it's not likely because I am the Lord of Comics. Dave says probably because they want to try a different approach. They may not have faith in the old playbook after it's been all done before. No, but that's the thing. It's not about the playbook. I'm just saying because you can use a different playbook and mix it up with characters that people have heard of because you still have to get people to show up. They just had a movie, Blue Beetle, not do well, even though it was a good movie because no one knew who Blue Beetle was.
They just released a Flash movie and no one saw it.
Exactly.
Like, that's where they're at now, is that you can put a movie with two Batmans, the Flash and Supergirl.
Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman, and no one will go see it.
Wonder Woman was in the marketing for Shazam.
Exactly.
I still think Shazam 2 should have been Shazam teaming up with Wonder Woman. Then people would have shown up. Guarantee it.
This is more of the wasted potential, but why was Gal Gadot just like in these movies for like 1 minute and nothing else?
I know. Because when it's a Shazam movie called War of the Gods, I think Wonder Woman should be heavily involved in that, right?
Exactly.
It should have been
weird.
A team-up movie.
They like didn't use their own mythology that they created in their movies.
Mm-hmm. Because granted, 84 kind of hurt her popularity, but Wonder Woman was like an Aquaman. It's kind of funny how Aquaman 2 like came back from the dead. But it's like you have Wonder Woman and Aquaman, you didn't use them.
Yeah. And I was even hearing James Wan, because he was talking about how his first idea for Aquaman 2 had a lot of Ben Affleck in it, and they just like cut it all out. Right?
I would have loved that. A team-up movie of Aquaman and Batman. I want that.
Yeah. if you like were to tell me, as someone who wants your movies to make money, how to make money is, and you have access to a
Put
character
Batman
like
in it.
Batman,
That's
and you
what the
didn't
comics
use
do.
it.
They put Batman in
Yeah.
everything. Well, also, that's how you create a shared universe. You put the characters from other movies in your movie.
In them, yeah.
That's kind of the way it works. A Wonder Woman movie exploring Greek lore. Yeah, exactly. That could work. That could work. I'm not surprised Aquaman made bank, because that's actually a really good movie. I really enjoyed Aquaman 2. Bringing back Steve was dumb. Steve Trevor, when he's used in anything other than father figure, is stupid.
I don't know why they had him like take over a live person's body in that movie. That's like,
it gets worse.
Don't get it.
Wonder Woman has sex with that person.
Yes, that's so
when it
weird.
Gets worse. That's what. Here's the fan base when that scene happened. Are you ready?
What is this?
A center for ants.
Yeah,
I had to. There was a chance that the next Wonder Woman actor to be a raging feminist.
I don't think Gunn will. I think he will be as safe as he possibly can with his casting, because he doesn't want to mess up his role in the company.
Well, remember, as far as we know, because with his casting as Supergirl, I never know, but they're not going to cast. He's not going to cast someone else's movie. You just did, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Bring Back Steve was the worst. Wonder Woman explaining Greek lore. Wonder Woman 1984 is a prime example of why making their love interest more important than they really are is a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is my problem with making Lois Lane more important than she really is.
Exactly.
Which is funny because, again, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. She barely has a role, and even that was too much. And again, I don't know. You saw David. I was shooting every Lois Lane like poster. I was like, bum, 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 and everyone called it. So I was like, Steve is as useless as Lois Lane. Yeah. That's why if I could pair them together in a comic, it would be called Steve Trevor, Lois Lane, united in irrelevancy. That would be my book. Gunn won't be stupid to hire bad writers for Wonder Woman. He hired Tom King to help write Superman. Wait, he hired the writer of Birds of Prey and The Flash.
Yep.
On the writing team. That's where I'm like. So far, he's 0 for 2. I'm excited.
He's lose faith in his projects that I had hype for.
Yeah,
like that's how far he's fallen for me.
Again, Tom King is where I start to draw the line. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But the minute he starts having the writer of Birds of Prey, I'm like, no, I'm out.
Well, the thing that really blows my mind is he works for WB, and WB has the Game of Thrones writers. I would have like stolen many as I could have, because they all know what they're doing.
Isn't it kind of funny how Gunn apparently also thinks that DC Studios is not a part of Warner Brothers? He keeps saying that, and I'm like, no. Zaslav's in charge, dude. You don't get to do whatever you want. It's not like he didn't give you independence. Why hired the Birds of Prey writer? Tevia, I would love to know
who
that.
Knows?
I would love to know. He's also the writer of The Flash. Remember that. It's true that even films with popular characters aren't doing well. Well, again, Aquaman did pretty good. It actually did double the production budget. They have to try something very different. Maybe do films as part animated green screen movies like Sin City. That could work too.
That would work for Batman.
Yeah, there is. The Batman, and it's also Joker. Here's the thing. Nick was right about this in Comics League. There is no superhero fatigue. There's just bad movie fatigue because they keep doing the same thing over and over again. This is my problem with like Superman Legacy. This is my personal issue. Everything he says is pretty much like it's gonna be Chris Reeves 2.0.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that didn't work for Brandon Routh. It's gonna work for Corn Sweat. And people can blame other factors on Superman Returns all they want. Even though I enjoyed Superman Returns, it's a fun movie to watch, but it's not going to have the intended effect he thinks he is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is all about Gunn. That's why. Yeah, he's only doing
projects
crazy as opposed to like what the fan base would want. Which again, that Flash movie was sabotaged. No, I understand that, but they had a Flash script written, which is going to be a team up movie between Flash and Cyborg. They threw that away for Flashpoint, written by Christina Hodson.
They also threw 18. What was the Wonder Woman, the 1800 one? They also threw that script away too.
Oh yeah, because Patty Jenkins didn't want Wonder Woman to be a violent warrior. Do you know who Wonder Woman is?
Though. Yeah.
Because remember, her Wonder Woman was Linda Carter. That's why I don't like it when creatives have their own
the idea of what they are.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not who the character is anymore. It's like I was reading New 52 and Rebirth when she had the story, and then in my comic, Wonder Woman says, "I'm a warrior, Cal," and I'm like, this non-warrior just fought 2 Kryptonians. I'm pretty sure she's a warrior.
And even Gail Simone, that famous line where it's like, when you cannot kill, you should wound. When you cannot wound, you should heal. When you cannot heal, like that whole line.
I love that. By the way, I have the Omni for Gail Simone Wonder Woman that I just completed. It's so good. I love it. There are some things I don't like, but overall, it's fun. Chris Reeves nostalgia won't work. Again, you're banking too hard on people remembering Chris Reeves, and no one remembers. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say not enough people to make the amount of money that Warner Brothers wants. Because this movie, despite what people tell you, this has to make a lot of money.
There's a generational gap from that era, because that movie came out before I was even born.
Me
too.
You
know what I mean?
Well, obviously for us, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't use that as the template for something that's almost 50 years old now.
When the character that was pre-Crisis Superman.
Exactly.
Have you seen post-Crisis Superman? It's carbon copy Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Twitter is not the real world. DC is learning this right now, and they're going to learn it with the movies. Well, they have learned this with the movies, because look, every movie since Aquaman has been what Twitter wanted,
and they're all bad.
How's that worked out for you? Mm-hmm. Exactly. But Wonder Woman is not a violent character all the time. Yeah, but Linda Carter made it out to be she's not violent ever. That's my issue. Yeah. That's my issue. Even Gal is not violent all the time. In the Snyder Cut, when she comforts that girl and says you could be whatever you want to be. I'm like, that's Wonder Woman. I think people are tired of bad movies as a whole. Yes, exactly. That's the thing. That's why I like Across the Spider-Verse, which was great. Mm-hmm. The excitement for Deadpool. Let me put it this way, Deadpool had better not fail. Yeah.
Honestly, Superman Legacy can fail if that movie fails. A lot of the coming superhero movies can fail if Deadpool isn't successful.
Yeah, because if Deadpool fails, that might indicate that there is superhero fatigue. Because if that movie fails, with all the excitement that movie has, and Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, all the Fox characters coming back, then I think the other movies are in trouble, because
it might be game over at that point.
Yeah. Maybe Zaslav will keep DCU budgets very low, under 150 million. Well, they can't if they're casting some. The other thing is that James Gunn's not casting anyone that's a Hollywood draw.
Yeah, they're all unknown for the most part.
Because here's the thing. Yes, Zach casts a lot of unknowns, but he also casts for Perry White. He also casts Ben Affleck as Batman. People show up for Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman would make it a huge success. Here, the one I do agree with you, Brown. I will say I thought the same thing about Michael Keaton returning as Batman. That didn't work for the Flash, because I thought that movie was going to make $1 billion.
I mean, we all kind of thought it did, or we all thought it was gonna, but then nobody cared when it came out.
Yeah, if the rumors I heard about Deadpool even 0.1% of the truth that the movie will be, I hope it's not. But just from what I guess, that we can kiss the MCU goodbye forever. Well, the MCU died a long time ago, so it's not like we're having that much of an issue.
The MCU kind of died when Tony Stark died.
Yeah, they should have just ended it at Endgame and then just rebooted and then just continued on. But they continued on for so long. I never expected $1 billion. Well, let me put it this way: more than the Flash made. Let me put it to you that way. Way more. The problem with nostalgia is that it appeals to an audience that is aged out or is already aging out of the industry. Yeah, exactly. It does. Plus, there's not well, the one thing I will say, Randy, there's not enough of the nostalgic to make the. That's why I say, like it or not, these studios aren't making movies for comic book fans. They're making it for the general audience because there's not enough of us to get the numbers that they want.
Yeah, or have seen before.
Yeah, exactly. Hugh is a more recent memory. Keaton is from another generation. That is the one. Okay, that is true. Because it is more, and that's again with the generational gap. So that could be a boon in Hugh's cap. So I'll give him that. Casting relative unknowns makes sense considering the rumor that the SnyderVerse actors were recast because Zaslav didn't want to pay them what they were worth. But what I'm saying is that you do have to cast people that, because the actors themselves also bring people to the box office, because a lot of these guys are like TV actors who per se don't bring a big amount of like people to see the movies. Like, I'm sorry, as much as I love Nathan Fillion, he doesn't bring a lot of people to the movie. He brings some people, don't get me wrong, he's not that big of a movie draw as opposed to like Ryan Reynolds or Ben Affleck or Henry Cavill. But Marvel Comics in the Marvel universe, even in the main universe. Yeah, but Tevia, again, you can't treat the movie universe as like a comic book universe because it doesn't translate.
They don't work the same. Yeah.
They don't work the same.
In comic books, like us as comic book readers, we're like, oh yeah, like I don't know, you could just use like any random writer right now. Like Zeb Wells, like, man, this like whole run sucks. Like, I'm not gonna read any of it. I'm just gonna wait till they reboot it. And we know that it's going to change. We know like eventually like he'll make enough bad stuff and they'll kick him off the book. We know that. As a moviegoer, you can't just be like, oh man, all this stuff that Zach is doing, I don't really like. I'm just not going to watch until they reboot it. The thing with movies is that they don't make money. They just don't make them anymore. Yeah. And that's...
Well, the other thing is that here's an excellent example. The multiverse. We know what the multiverse is, and we're well familiar with it. My dad does not. And he's like, can they stop with it? Yeah, they should reboot it. And that's the other thing about the DCU. It's not even completely rebooting.
Yeah.
There should be no Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
0. End it. Because it's rebooting. Nicholas Hoult as Lex is probably the biggest casting. It's big because he played like Beast in the X-Men. So there is that. I don't think it, but one actor is not enough because if you notice, Zach even had Amy Adams and like even Michael Shannon was a drag. Hey, Russell frickin' Crowe.
Yeah. Wasn't like he had a bunch of A-list actors be in his movies.
But he also had unknowns for the Justice League. He just surrounded them with A-listers so people would show up. And they did. Personally, for me, I think needs a major break. True. As for Sony, they need to stop making bad decisions like that.
Oh my God. Haven't even talked about Madam Web.
Well, because there's nothing really to talk about. The other thing is that can Sony please stop making movies about Spider-Man adjacent characters and just make a damn Spider-Man movie?
They're like trying to make their own Avengers over there. Like, I don't know what their plan is, but they're trying something. Like, eventually all these like Venom, Carnage, Madam Web, all these random characters are all going to show up in the same movie. And who knows if anybody's going to see it. But Sony doesn't care. They have the rights to them.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think that's a good place to leave it. So this was a great member stream. David, where can one find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at junk_surfer. That's it.
Sweet. So if you guys ever want to join us for these discussions, just become a member. It should be right. I hope I'm pointing to the right button. I'm looking at the stream right now. Yes, I'm pointing to the right button. Okay, good. Just click on the join button. Choose any tier. I let anyone on these streams. That's a member. And you guys can even pick the topics. And I will say, I just want to give an update. We are at 882 subscribers, almost at 1K. We're almost there. And we'll be having a 1K party on that. So in terms of movie night tomorrow, we will be discussing Under the Red Hood. So
that's a good one.
Expect that. And then Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I are going to be talking about why DC seems to ignore Superman's Kryptonian heritage in favor of his human one. So, on that note, everyone, stay heroic. And remember, as always, Lois Lane is Lois Lame. See you later, everyone.